make sure that I answer the question that I had on my mind and do our show and tell. Let's see. I see lots of waves and happy faces. You guys are so cute. So the question I got yesterday from my little friend Isabella was, why do you make books? And I kind of answered that yesterday, but I also feel like I have never finished answering that question because it's got lots of layers. Yesterday I talked about the way that books made me feel when I was a kid. Like, I could open a book and I could feel happy, I could feel excited, I could feel like I was with friends. In this chapter that we just read, you see how Maddie is with Sasha and Beanie, and I feel like when I'm in that chapter with them, that they are my real, actual friends. And I think that that is a feeling that I really want to give other kids, just like I got it from other writers when I was young. So that's something that I feel like everybody deserves. So when I'm writing something and when I'm sneaking it into my book, I'm putting donuts into my book because I feel like kids deserve to read about donuts and to have donuts. When I put really good, cool friends into my book, that means I feel like you deserve that friend. Now, the show and tell that I have today is something that I got from the museum. I already showed you guys the great horned owl skull that I have. I have another specimen from the museum that I checked out a few weeks ago now. It's like an overdue library book, and the museum is closed, so I can't even return it. Not yet, anyway. I will absolutely return it when the museum opens back up, but it's really long and big, and I want to show you all of it. So it's super wide. If you put it next to my face, it's like as wide as my face, and it's super long, but it's very thin. You can see it's the preserved skin of a python, and it just keeps going and going and going until there's no more left. Now, when I take this to school visits, kids ask lots of questions about it. They ask me what happened to the snake, because lots of kids know what a shed snake skin looks like, and it does not look like this. So a snake is a reptile. They are vertebrates like us. They have an internal skeleton, so even though they look so slithery and they don't have arms and legs, they've got a backbone just like we do. They've got ribs too. And the scales that cover their bodies, if you look really close, are like little diamond shapes, little circles if you were to draw them. But when a snake grows, it sheds its skin, or if those scales get tattered, then it needs to shed it, and a shed snake skin looks really different. This is a shed snake skin, and you can see that it's translucent, it's papery, you can probably hear the crackles. And when the snake is ready to shed its skin, it secretes like a hormone, and the skin just starts to get looser and looser. And a snake actually has a scale that covers each of its eyes. They call it a spectacle or an ocular scale. So it's usually clear and they can see through it. And one of the reasons why they have that scale that covers their eye is that they do not have eyelids. They can't blink like I can. And on Monday, I showed everybody the great horned owl skeleton skull, and I showed you that it can rotate its head 270 degrees. And one of the reasons why it's important for it to be able to rotate its head so much is that it doesn't have the ability to move its eyeballs inside the socket. So I'm a human, I'm not an owl, and I can move my eyes to the left and to the right and up and down. An owl does not have that ability, and so it compensates by having that rotation. And a snake doesn't have eyelids, it cannot blink, but it keeps its eyes moist and clean by having that scale that goes over it. So this is my show and tell for the day, my python skin. I'm gonna be back on Instagram Live tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. and I have something really cool set out for show and tell. We're gonna read the Turkey Talon. If you missed a little bit of this read aloud, you can always check my story, because the read aloud from the day before is always going to be in my story, and I'm going to have all the read alouds on my website, and you can send me a little note and I will give you the password. So happy reading, and I would say for today, just look around with your amazing eyes that can look to the left and to the right and blink, and use them and see wonderful things. So goodbye. Have a good day.